What is up, YouTube? D-Rec here with Alliance Rift Gaming Network, and I will be your commentator for this week's Card Fight Vanguard feature fight. And in today's match, we have Altmile Brave versus Diablo Luard Ritual. Two very strong decks in the meta right now. One capable of really substantially sized columns and multi-attacks, while the other is very good at building strong columns while also maintaining higher levels of hand advantage and resources. So in this game, the Altmile player will be taking the first turn, and the Luard player will be getting the first attack. And we're just going to see which deck can kind of outplay the other, which one can reduce the other's resources to the point where they can't make any strong plays. So the Altmile player is going to go first. He's going to draw for turn. He's going to ride into Sonic Goal. Very important play card, more so now than before, with Electos allowing Brave all-time status during the battle phase. So we're going to have the Luard player attack first, and the Altmile player is going to take it with an additional critical, taking 2 damage at the end of turn 2. The Altmile player is now going to take his turn and ride Hope Song Angel. Very good setup card, allowing the deck to maximize on its early game capabilities and really build substantially sized columns for very little cost and little hand usage. So he's going to call out a Sonic Goal with Hope Song Angel's skill. He's going to call out a Twin Sword and a Escort Eagle. The Vanguard is going to attack Vanguard first and gets no pass, with the offensive critical trigger going to Escort Eagle. Escort Eagle is going to swing for 21,000 power, and the Luard player is going to take it with the defensive heal trigger not going off this time around, and the 3rd damage from the Twin Sword column. So now the Luard player's turn is up. He's going to draw for turn. He's going to ride into Grozny and call out a Hole. He's going to attack Grozny first at a rear guard and get the offensive critical going to Hole. And he's going to retire the Twin Sword. Now Hole's going to attack Vanguard as well for 14,000 power. And it looks like the Altmile player is going to guard that for 18,000. Now the Altmile player is going to take his turn and ride into Blue Sky Knight Altmile. He's going to call another Twin Sword. He's really focusing on the aggro plays here on the pre-stride turns. He's going to attack Twin Sword to Hole for 14,000 to get guarded for 19,000, and then Vanguard against Vanguard with the offensive heal and a grade 2 for his 2 drive checks. So the Luard player is going to get the defensive heal, keeping the damage at 3, and then Escort Eagle is going to swing at 21,000 to the Luard player's 14k Vanguard. And the Luard player is going to take that, putting himself at 4 damage, making the damage gap 2. Making the score 2-4 with Altmile in the lead at the beginning of the Luard player's grade 3 turn. So the Luard player is going to ride into Dragheart Luard and get to stride first. Now in this situation he has a lot of damage to work with, but it's also very detrimental for him because now he's in a position where he's already out 2 heal triggers and he really wants to try and close the gap here or build resources to defend against it. And it looks like he's going to go for the latter and stride into Aura-Geyser Dragon. He's going to really try and rebuild some hand advantage here. He's going to retire Root for the cost of Luard's skill. He's going to get to call out 2 grade 1 units or lower from deck. Now for most builds I see that some run Root, some other ones go the Creeping Dark Goat route or the Conrad route for easy early game soul, but some decks like Root for the plus 5,000 power. I feel it's a waste of a counterblast, but that's just my opinion. He's going to use Root skill and get plus 5,000 to Hole. He's going to call 2 Sword Breakers, getting 2 cards off of that skill for the counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2. Call out a Abyssal Owl to make the column 21,000 power, making it a 15k guard. He's going to attack for 12,000 at the opponent's Vanguard with the Swordbreaker column. And the Altmile player is going to intercept with Twin Sword, and now the Luard player is going to attack with Aura-Geyser using its skill. He's going to be able to reveal the top 2 and add those to hand. He's going to reveal a heal and a stride fodder, and he's going to apply a plus 10,000 point bonus to Aura-Geyser with no guard from the Altmile player. And no offensive triggers from the Aura-Geyser player. Not a good sign in this situation. He really wants to close the damage gap in this situation and try and even out the damage between the 2 players here. He's going to attack with the Hole column for 21,000 power, and the Altmile player is going to G-Guard with Dismal for 31,000 power, concluding the Luard player's turn, and the Altmile player now will be taking his turn in his first strat opportunity. So he will be taking the opportunity to stride this turn. And since he has the 1G unit face up, he will be able to use Altmile's stride skill, or if you want to use Finesse, you would be able to get Finesse's skill to retire and give 2 units +5. But in this situation, he's going to go Altmile, and he's going to get to call a unit for free from deck. Now you could either call a unit to the open rear guard in the front, but it looks like he's going to call Selden from deck and give his Vanguard a nice 12,000k booster. And it looks like he's going to call out the Flying Swallow Knight Klaus. A decent card. I think it's okay for certain power buffs and hitting magic numbers, but in terms of that, I think some of the newer support's going to be a little bit better. He's going to use Electos' skill to give him Brave status and swing with Klaus first at Vanguard for a 12,000 point attack and get guarded for 16. The Escort Eagle column is going to attack for a substantial amount, and the Luard player is going to take that, putting him at 5 damage, and now the Altmile player is going to swing Vanguard against Vanguard for, I think, 45,000 power. So Luard player is going to G-Guard with Plotmaker. He's going to have Ritual status, so that will be a 36k guard. Still not quite enough to stop the Altmile attack. Hopefully he has a couple guards in hand to guard with like 10ks or so. Otherwise he might have to take it. It looks like he's going to G-Guard again. He's going to call another Plotmaker, making it no pass this time around, I believe, or 2 to pass. And the Altmile player is going to get no offensive triggers there, so the Luard player is safe. But that's a very, very bad sign for the Luard player, because now that we know that all 4 heals are out of the deck, the Luard player will not have a chance to recover any amount of damage and really bounce back from 5. So now the Luard player is going to take his turn and draw for turn. So in this situation, because he has no heals, he really wants to put on the pressure and really try and end the game here. Otherwise, he might not be able to survive another couple turns of Altmile combo attacks. So his best bet would probably be to go Spectral Blaster, but hitting a drag driver column wouldn't be a bad option as well. Though the Spectral Blaster play would be the most optimal in this position. And so he's going to do just that. He's going to ride into Spectral Blaster Diablo and really set up for big columns and big swinging Vanguard attacks with the Diablo engine power buffs. So he's going to use Luard's Luard's Stride Break and call out a Kaiden, as well as a David. The David will be in this situation looks like it's going to be used as a retire cost for Spectral Blaster Diablo's restand, but Kaiden's going to allow Hull to countercharge and give the Vanguard in itself +3, making it currently 19k column as well as a 29k Vanguard. And Spectral Blaster's skill is going to be activated using Kaiden's retire cost, so Spectral Blaster is going to get a +5k bonus here and on hit to skill. He's going to call another Kaiden from hand. He's going to Soul Charge 2, Counter Charge 2. The Hull on the left will be at +6, and the Hull on the right will be at +3, and he'll call another one, so it'll be a +6 to the Kaiden on the right and a +9 to the Hull on the Hull on the left. So the Luard player is going to swing with Spectral Blaster for 48,000 power, the Vanguard. And he's going to get PG'd by the Altmile player with Hopekeeper. And into his triple drive check, he's going to get the offensive critical. The first critical will go to Spectral Blaster with power at the hole on the right, and the second critical will all go to the hole on the left. So just in case the Spectral Blaster column cannot hit again, or cannot get an attempt to hit in the second attack, he'll have an additional column with a critical on it and be able to dish out an additional 3 damage to close the game here. So he's going to restand with Spectral Blaster and swing for 43,000. And it looks like the Altmile player is going to take it. No trigger checks on that last one, so the Altmile player will be taking 2 damage. The 2 defensive triggers will really help the Altmile player in this situation, putting him at a 21k base. But the on-hit ability of Spectral Blaster will allow him to call another unit. The holes will get an additional +3 as well. So the hole on the right will get +9, the one on the left +12. So now the hole on the right will be swinging at Vanguard with a boost for 30,000 power at the opponent's Vanguard. And it looks like the Altmile player is going to guard for 31,000, just barely covering the difference there with 1,000 points. And the Luard player still has one more attacking column for plus 17, 25, 32,000 at the opponent's Vanguard with the additional critical on top. So that's that can be very detrimental if the opponent cannot guard here. There's a lot of guard he has to drop to try and survive this turn. But it looks like he's going to intercept and guard, so that'll make it a 15k guard with Brave status being active for Escort Eagles plus 5k shield ability. And now the Altmile player will be taking his turn. It was definitely not a good sign for the Luard player. He definitely doesn't seem to have a substantial number of cards in hand to really do anything this time around. And since the Altmile player has enough cards to really satisfy a lot of the costs and a lot of the abilities he has, he'll be able to get massive power columns off with the +6 from the +6 from Transcending Altmile, as well as Altmile Stride Break, giving +5 to Lu and to the Suleiman on the right. So Klaus is going to swing Vanguard, I believe, for I think 15,000 power. With the +6, so yeah, 15,000 power. And he's going to get guarded for 16. And the Altmile player is going to attack with Suleiman next, discarding a card to Superior Call a new unit over Klaus, potentially. And it looks like he's going to call Twin Sword over it, and because he has the Lu still standing in the back row, he'll be able to attack with a boost and use Twin Sword skill to call another unit, potentially another attacking column. So the Altmile player is going to swing into PG with the Transcending Altmile, and he's going to use his ability to call another unit to the board. And it looks like he's going to call a new Suleiman, which will allow him to do a few more combo attacks this time around, which is not a good sign for the Luard player's ability to guard with the high power columns and multi-attacks. So he's going to get double trigger here, the critical to Twin Sword, the stand to Suleiman. They're both going to get plus 5,000 buffs. And no trigger check for the third check. So the Twin Sword column is going to be, let's see, 11, so that's 29,000 power, I believe. It'll be a 29,000 power column. Because of all that, and the Luard player is going to guard there and use his entire hand to guard that attack for 31,000 power. And the Altmile player still has one column left, and it looks like it's well over 21k, so the double intercept with holes will not be enough to guard, and it looks like the Luard player is going to have to take this last attack. And because we already know that there are no heals up in the deck, that is the 6 damage of the game. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and we will see you in the next video.